Here I just wanted to show you my inspiration for this look. It was actually a piece that I created a few years ago now, back in college, and it's basically a self-portrait, and funnily enough, years later I now want to recreate this piece, but this time on my face. The original inspiration for this piece was actually from my imagination. So before we begin with the makeup, we first need to make the pieces. So I'm grabbing some thick cartridge paper or some card, and I'm just beginning by drawing the tentacles with some pencil. And once you're happy with that, you can then use acrylic paints or pens, pencils, whatever you prefer, and paint them in. You may want to use a template first just to check the size, so you can like cut it out with a piece of paper and just place it near your head and look in the mirror and just see if you're happy with the size before doing this. Just keep in mind that if you're going to be taking pictures, whether that be on your phone or a camera, don't make the details too tiny and small so that they can't see it. Once you're happy with your tentacles, then cut them out. For the headpiece, it was very simple. I just literally got a headband and I got some wire and attached the wire onto the headband, and then I got a bunch of fake flowers, I cut them up and then hot glued them onto the wire and the headband, and that's how I made the headpiece. So first you want to hide your eyebrow. I was about to say eyebrows then, but it's actually eyebrow. So choose which side you want to be the skull and which one's going to be your normal face. And then simply taking some foundation, you just want to apply this all over your face. I'm using the MAC Studio Fix for this, and I'm using a beauty blender to blend it in. Of course, you only need to apply this to the other half of the face. Moving on, I'm taking the Kryolan Supracolor in white, which is like a cream paint, and I'm beginning to create the shape of the skull. If you want to, you can use a pencil first to outline the shapes. That's absolutely fine. But you want to start mapping out like the jaw, the cheekbones and all of that good stuff. Of course, you don't have to worry too much about your eye and your forehead because it's going to get covered anyway. Next, I'm taking the Kryolan Supracolor in black. By the way, all of the products will be listed in the description box below. Anyway, you just want to fill in the rest of your face, and I'm also starting to create the shape of the teeth. I'm not worrying too much about detail just yet, that's all going to come later, so let's just worry about getting the basic shapes and colours down first. Next, I'm taking a black eyeshadow and I'm just going to apply this where the shadow would hit. So for the bottom jawline, you want to apply quite a bit on there, just so it looks like it's sort of behind your cheekbone area, and you also want to apply it near your jawline and chin area because that's where the shadow would hit. This is going to create the illusion that they are 3D objects and create a tiny bit more realism. I'm also applying shadow near my eye socket area, and it doesn't have to be perfect at this point just because it's going to get covered in flowers eventually anyway, but you might as well do it in black just so the flowers stand out even better. Notice how as soon as I've applied a tiny bit of eyeshadow, it's already starting to look a lot better. Next, I'm taking a fine brush and some eyeshadow, and I'm just starting to create some shadow in between the teeth. So you want to apply just a little bit at a time and use gentle dabbing and vertical strokes to achieve the look. Once you're happy with that, I'm just going to grab some SFX setting powder and set the whole thing. Of course, if you're using water-based paint, this does not apply to you. Moving on to the other side of the face, I'm taking the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk and I'm applying this on top of my real eyebrow. I'm then taking the NYX Epic Ink Liner or whatever eyeliner you have, and I'm just applying this on the end of my brow. Taking some eyeshadows, I'm using the NYX Ultimate Brights eyeshadow palette. I'm just packing on some green and I'm creating a gradient black to green to a different shade of green. I'm using an angled brush to do this, and just pack on the pigment as much as you can to get the strongest colour. Taking some concealer, I'm using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer for this. I'm just applying this underneath my brow. This is going to really sharpen and clean up the edges and also highlight my brow bone. And of course, grab your beauty blender and blend it away. I'm also applying this on top of my brow as well, simply because I'm extra anal. Prime those eyeballs, or should I say the eyeball, because we're gonna get colourful. So grab your shadow palette, which again I'm using the same shadow palette, and I'm going to take a yellow and I'm just applying this on the inner parts of my eye first. I'm really packing on the pigment to get it nice and strong, so strong it will blind you. And then I'm taking a pink. This is really hard to explain, guys. I'm just literally going wild. I'm just packing on a shitload of colours, okay? Just do that. So it goes from a gradient yellow to a pink to a blue. So I'm just creating some sort of semicircle on the crease of my eye, and then I'm setting that with a fine glitter. I'm then just grabbing some white face paint, or you can use white eyeliner, and I'm just lining the half circle that I created. I'm then taking some eyeliner and I'm just going to create a large wing, and then taking some white eyeliner or a face paint, I'm then just going to create a second wing on top of that. Taking an eyeliner, I'm using the NYX False Blacks. I'm just going to line my waterline. I'm also taking some green and I'm applying this underneath my eye, and I'm using a small angled brush and some small detailed brushes to achieve this. So next I'm taking the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealers, and I'm just going to apply the lighter one underneath my eye and then contour with the darker one. Now I'm doing this really heavy deliberately because I really wanted to chisel my face and make it really heavy and eye-catching. So apply this onto your jawline, your cheekbones and your forehead. I'm then using the 3 steps to sculpt to fuzz it out and make it nice and blended. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next step. So I'm grabbing an eyebrow pencil for this. You can literally use whatever pencil you have, and you just want to start sketching out the basic shape of the roots. So I'm going to do this on my face, and it's going to kind of be crawling up on my face as if it's like overgrowing. And then of course you want to do exactly the same on your neck and chest. And I've put my choker on because I was planning on putting it on, and I left it on just so I knew where to draw and where the bits were going to be covered. So don't worry about details or anything fancy just yet. We're just literally going to get the shapes down. Once you're happy with your shapes, then go ahead and start painting in the dark brown. Again, I'm not worrying about details just yet, I'm just getting the base colour down. So before going any further, I grabbed some UV paints and created the shapes of leaves. So now I've mixed some white with brown, and I'm basically just starting to fill in the rest of the areas, and as you can see I'm starting to fill in different shades of browns, adding hints of yellow as well, and this is going to create variation in the colours. So I'm deliberately making it so it's not even and it's quite patchy, and I'm painting in the direction that the branch is flowing, if that makes sense. And this is going to start creating texture on the surface. So now that I have the base colour down, I'm going in with some white and I'm starting to create slight bits of detail, but again it's not too fancy, it is just wavy lines going in the flow of the direction of the tree bark. Think about where the light and the shadow is going to hit, so the white areas are going to be the more raised areas and the darker areas are going to be the more lowered areas. It's completely up to you what kind of shapes and sizes you use. At the end of the day, this is just nature, you cannot go wrong. So I'm also creating this, how would I call it, this thing inside the tree. What is it? Wow, like I don't even know what I'm painting. To create that, I'm taking a white and I'm just creating a very simple circle, and then I'm just continuing the lines going in the direction. And of course inside the hole I've created some shadow and shade. This is gonna of course trick the eye into thinking that this is a 3D object, and just play around, experiment, see what works and what doesn't, and eventually you'll get the desired look. I'm going to take some dark brown and I'm just outlining the leaves that I created earlier. I'm using a cream colour in white and I'm just slightly highlighting and tickling the surface of my skin to create some lighter areas in the leaves. And of course you want to just keep highlighting here and there, touching up anywhere that needs it. And then taking some white and a finer brush, I'm starting to create the details inside the leaves. And then grabbing some eyeshadows, you can use a mixture of browns or blacks, and you just want to create some shadow on the leaves. And then of course you want to do exactly the same on your face. If you have a shaved side, you can go ahead and do this on your head as well. I mean, I might as well. And you get the gist by now. It is just getting the basic shape down and then creating highlights and shadows and just building your way up. Taking some highlighter, I'm using the NYX Born to Glow, and of course I'm using the lightest, brightest one. You want to go ahead and make your face shine so much to the point where you will blind people. Apply some lashes to your one eye. So we're going to take the Candy Slick in, I can't remember what colour it is, or the products will be in the description box below, but you want to go ahead and apply this to the rest of your lips that is showing. Then take a black and just paint in the rest of your eye. No, not your eyeball, don't do that. Don't paint your actual eyeball. So then now it's time to style your hair as desired. It's literally completely up to you what you do. What I'm doing is I'm tying a ponytail on the top of my head, and then I'm going to shove a bunch of flowers in my hair. And then I'm using my hair to twist around the headband, and it's kind of cool because it unintentionally kind of looks like there's vines wrapping around the white headband. It's pretty cool. You can be anything in life, so if you want, be a friggin' garden. Don't forget about your tentacles, by the way. So I'm just taking some liquid latex. You just want to stick that to your head. Please, please, please don't stick your hair into it. You will regret that later. And then I'm just bending the tentacles into place so that they are showing properly. Stick on that choker, check if there's anything that needs touching up, and voila la. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial. I really hope you found it helpful and that you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see much more of this kind of content, then please hit the subscribe button. Also, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your feedback, and also follow me on Instagram at gothspectrum. Thank you once again, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.